Welcome, pod.
Welcome back into the Chris Mathis podcast. I'm your host, Chris Mathis, with my brother, co-host Spencer Mathis, for yet again another podcast as we hit the month of September, which means the NFL is back. College football returned last week as well, and we have our first NFL football game here on Thursday. By the time you guys are listening to this, it'll be game day for a couple of teams in the Buffalo Bills and the reigning Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, but also, September marks 1 month until it's been a year since we started the podcast. We're just about 51 episodes, I believe, somewhere in there, give or take one or two. But time flies by when you're having fun. I can't believe it's already been a year since we started this thing. But again, this is going to be a short and sweet podcast. We're going to talk about our predictions for the upcoming week of NFL football games. Of course, starting off with Thursday night's game between the visiting Buffalo Bills and the home team, the Los Angeles Rams. Spence, the Bills a 2.5-point favorite on the road there in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I don't like them putting the Bills as a 2.5-point favorite. Obviously, they are the favorite to win the Super Bowl going into this season, according to a lot of different places, including Vegas Sportsbook. But whenever you're looking at the Los Angeles Rams, a team that just came off of a Super Bowl win, I think that they're going to be a more established team than the Buffalo Bills are. I think the Rams kept together a lot of key pieces. The only guy that they lost was Von Miller, and he went to the Buffalo Bills, so that'll be a good thing to keep an eye out on. But I think the Rams are going to prevail in this one. I think it's going to be a great opening game, way better than last year's, which was the Buccaneers Cowboys. So this year's opening game on Thursday night tonight is awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, 52 points over under total scored. I'm going to go with the under on that. What do you think about that, Spence?
I'm going to have to go over 52.5.
Over 52. All right, well, there we go. That's the first game. Buffalo Bills take on the Los Angeles Rams in week 1 of the season. Who'd you say was going to win?
I had the Rams.
I'm going to go with the Bills. I think Josh Allen is my MVP this year. And right now, heading into this season, I've got the Buffalo Bills and the Super Bowl as they try to pick up a Super Bowl championship this year, the Lombardi Trophy with a great quarterback, Josh Allen. You talk about the addition of Von Miller to the squad there in Buffalo. It'll be a lot of fun. Again, we're talking about the upcoming NFL football games this week, week 1 of the 2022 season, which would not be possible without Information on Demand. Again, the Chris Mathis podcast brought to you by Information on Demand, pre-employment background screening services. And there you go. Here's the number on the bottom of the screen, offering fast, accurate, and affordable background screening services. Information on Demand, whether you need criminal background checks, drug screenings, E-Verify, academic accreditations, or other screening services, they've got you covered. You can rest easy knowing a highly trained search team will get you the information you need in just 8 hours or less. That's right, 8 hours or less. Information on Demand. They're fast, they're accurate, and affordable pre-employment background screening services. Give them a call today, 855-914-4636, or you can visit their website, informationondemand.net. Go check out the description down below for more information regarding our sponsor, Information on Demand. Also, moving on here to Sunday's football games, we'll start things off with the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Detroit. 1 o'clock kickoff. No official favorite in that game as of right now, the recording of this podcast. Over-under set at 48.5 points. What do you think about this game, Spence, for the Eagles as they take a road trip to Detroit? Second-year head coach there with the Detroit Lions. They're on Hard Knocks this year. Let's see what they do at home. Will they be biting some kneecaps in week 1?
Yeah, I think the stadium's going to be jam-packed. I saw reports that it's already sold out. But I think a lot of these fans are going to be Eagles fans because they are one of the best traveling fan groups in all of sports. So I think the Eagles are going to have the Lions Stadium rocking. I'm going to have to go with the under in this. I don't really know if the Lions are going to be good. And going up against a playoff team in week 1 from last year, I do not think the Lions are going to prevail. I've got the Eagles, but I'm going to go with the under here.
Yeah, go with the under again. 48.5 points over under set for this upcoming game on Sunday as the Eagles travel to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. And I'm going to go with, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that they have a pretty solid season this year. And truly, it sounds pretty cliche, but it will rely on, it'll all come down to what Jalen Hurts does this season. We saw some flashes of potential in him last year, but he had the slowest release time in the NFL in terms of getting it off. It was over 3 seconds between the time that he got rid of the ball and the ball was snapped. So Jalen Hurts has to pick some things up there. They also added A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans, too. That should help out with Devontae Smith. The running back situation's a little interesting. Miles Sanders, the tailback there in Philadelphia. We'll see what they do. Indianapolis Colts travel to Houston. Colts are a 7-point favorite. Over-under set at 46.5 points. Spence, what do you got in this game? Matt Ryan's first game as the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. On the Houston side of things, they've moved on from Deshaun Watson. He is no longer in Houston.
Yeah, new head coach for the Texans as well, and their quarterback's still going to be Davis Mills, but they've got Lovie Smith leading the pack, and we've seen how that experiment went in Tampa Bay whenever Lovie Smith was still relevant, and that was almost 10 years ago. So I do not have the Texans beating the Colts in this game. Matt Ryan is going to have a great game in this one. I don't think Matt Ryan's going to have an amazing season. I think a lot of people are expecting Matt Ryan to come out there for the Colts and play like 2016 Matt Ryan. But over the last 4 or 5 years, we have not seen that Matt Ryan anywhere near. And he had those same targets 2017, 2018, 2019 that he did back in 2016. So I've got the Colts in this one. I've got the under as well. I don't think the Texans are going to score very many points with Davis Mills at quarterback. They don't have a great running back room. Their receiving core's picking up a little bit, but I don't think they're experienced enough. A new head coach. And Frank Wright has been the head coach for the Colts for some time now, and he's got an upgraded quarterback going into, I think, year 5 for Wright.
I like Matt Ryan this season. I think he has a good job. They have a good offensive line. They have a great rushing attack. They also have Michael Pittman Jr. at wide receiver, a solid tight end too there in Indianapolis. I think the Colts are going to be a pretty legitimate team in the AFC. Not a Super Bowl contender, but they'll be solid. And I've got a blowout victory for the Colts on the road in Houston. I'm going to go under 46.5 points though. Cleveland Browns, they'll travel to Carolina and Charlotte as they'll take on the Carolina Panthers. It's a so-called revenge game for quarterback Baker Mayfield as he takes on his former team. And the Cleveland Browns at home, new team. I don't know if maybe Baker Mayfield will try too hard in this game and play bad. I'm not sure. I don't have an over-under in terms of points or stat line right now heading into this game. But it'll be interesting to see Baker Mayfield take on his former team. And whether you disagree with me or not, I do think there's going to be some bad blood for Baker Mayfield in this one. And if he has an opportunity to go up 4 or 5 scores, he's going to do that and throw up some big numbers there at home for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, Carolina has Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Christian McCaffrey's healthy again for the first time since last year, week 1, where they started off 5-0 with McCaffrey. Then he got hurt and the season was over. So I've got the Panthers in this game. This is going to be a great week 1 matchup. The Browns are a very good defense. They've got Myles Garrett. They've got Jadeveon Clowney, Denzel Ward. Their offense is going to struggle with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. I do not think they're going to put up very many points. So I'm going to say that the Browns lose to the Panthers in week 1. Baker Mayfield's going to score that first touchdown, and he's going to walk up to the Browns sidelines and give him a big FU right in front of him like he did back with the Oklahoma Sooners.
I saw earlier, or I was talking with Sal Palantonio of ESPN on the Pat and Aaron show earlier today, and he talked about the fact that there are 10 home underdogs in week 1 of this NFL season, something that hasn't happened since, I believe, the 1980s. 10 home underdogs in week 1 of this NFL football season. It'll be interesting, but again, I think Carolina dominates. Christian McCaffrey always has a big first game to start off the year, and you think, hey, my fantasy team's going to be good, and then week 6 or 7, he gets hurt. But either way, he's going to have a big performance today or in this week 1 matchup against the Cleveland Browns at home. The San Francisco 49ers will travel to Chicago, Soldier Field, and over-under set at 40.5 points in this one. The 49ers, a 7-point favorite on the road in Chicago. I expect them to cover, even with Trey Lance, a first-year starter heading into this football season with Jimmy Garoppolo on the bench. What do you think about this upcoming game, 49ers and Bears?
Yeah, I've got the 49ers in this game. Look, I really want to see Justin Fields do good in year 2 for Chicago, but that offensive line is absolutely neglected. They've got a new head coach. I think they'll be a little bit better than last year. But right now at the start of the season, they're looking like a bottom 5 team in the NFL. And the 49ers have been great for the last 12 years. They've been a playoff team nearly every year besides 1 or 2 years sprinkled in there. Garoppolo got them to the Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick got them to the Super Bowl. They've been one play away both times with the interception thrown towards Crabtree in the NFC Championship, and then with the interception thrown – actually, the overthrow by Jimmy Garoppolo looking for Emmanuel Sanders that would have put them ahead by 11 with 7 minutes left against the Chiefs. So they've really just been one throw away, and they're hoping Trey Lance is the guy. In week 1, it's not really going to matter if Trey Lance is the guy because he will go out there. He could do absolutely nothing and they will defeat the Chicago Bears in week 1. Chicago not ready. Maybe by week 8 we'll be saying something else. We'll be singing a different tune with their new head coach, but they're not looking good. But lucky for them, they got rid of Matt Nagy.
Yeah, he just needs to protect that football in week 1 of the season in order to make those 49er fans happy. Again, we're running through our upcoming weekend of NFL football right here on TCM Pod. We're going to be really quick with a lightning round of these games. The Jacksonville Jaguars will travel to Washington, D.C. to take on the Commanders. The Jaguars are actually an underdog in this one. The Commanders a 2.5-point favorite in this game. Over under set at 44 points. Spence, take it away. Trevor Lawrence, year 2, takes on first-year starter in Washington and Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Jaguars, Commanders, over under 44.5 points. I'm a big Trevor Lawrence fan. He's finally got a head coach. I think that the over-under for that's a little bit too low. I think both offenses are going to put up around 26, 28 points each. So I'm going to go with the over in this game. I'm going to go with the Commanders in week 1.
Really?
New head coach for the Jaguars, and new quarterback for the Commanders, Carson Wentz, an upgrade over Taylor Heinicke, or whatever you want to say. I think Wentz is an upgrade over any quarterback that McLaurin has played with in his career so far for the Redskins, Washington football team, Commanders. He's been there the whole time. But yeah, I've got the Washington Commanders in this game, and I'm going to take the over. I think this is going to be a really good game, and I really want to see Trevor Lawrence pick it up in year 2. Year 1 is basically a mulligan with his head coach situation being Urban Meyer for half the season and then getting fired. So I've got the Commanders, but I'm looking for the Jaguars to do really good this season under Trevor Lawrence's reign.
Let's take a look at the AFC East between two rival teams in the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. The Dolphins will host the Patriots. Dolphins a 3.5-point favorite. They add a guy in Tyreek Hill, a speedster at wide receiver, to really help open up that passing attack for the Dolphins. Tua showed off his arm a little bit here in training camp early on in preseason as well. The New England Patriots have lost 2 of their last 9 road games in Miami, so much so that Bill Belichick was worried, and he changed their game plan in terms of travel this week for this upcoming road game in Miami. They used to get there the day before kickoff. This week, they're having 5 days spent in Miami ahead of this matchup against the Dolphins. Miami Dolphins a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 46.5 points in week 1 between the Patriots and the Dolphins.
Yeah, an AFC East matchup that always gives the Patriots troubles, as you said. The Dolphins have really had the Patriots' numbers over the last couple of years, especially whenever the Dolphins are the away team. This time they're going to be the home team, so it does fare better for the Patriots. But I think the Dolphins are a better team than New England this year, and I think that New England's going to be third in their own division, and the Dolphins are going to be number 2 with Tua Tagovailoa, or however you want to say his last name. I'll just go with Tua at quarterback, and then Tyreek Hill at receiver. A nice running back group with Raheem Mostert that they signed. I really like the Dolphins this year. I think their defense is going to shine as well. With a really good safety in Javon Holland, really good cornerback in Xavier Howard, some decent pass rush with Emmanuel Ogbah. They've got a really good defense, and I think all Tua has to do is do what he's been doing in his career so far. He's a very accurate quarterback. He's just got to have a little bit better defense and a better run game to go along with him. He's not going to be stretching the ball down the field, even though he got Tyreek Hill. I still don't see that happening. But he's got a lot of good weapons this year, and I've got the Dolphins in week 1 over the Patriots.
I'll take the Dolphins as well. I think they cover that 3.5-point spread as well. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers they'll travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, a team that made an appearance in the Super Bowl last year with Joe Burrow at the helm. The Bengals a 6.5 home favorite against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, the Steelers lost Ben Roethlisberger. They just announced that Mitch Trubisky would be the starting quarterback in week 1, and he's also a captain. Kenny Pickett, the second guy on the depth chart. This is one of those rival games. I could really see a toss-up. I know that the Bengals are a much better team, and I think the Bengals have several more wins than the Pittsburgh Steelers will have this year, but this is a rival matchup. It's a game that could go either way. You still have Mike Tomlin on the other sideline as well. I don't know, Spence, what do you got in this game? Steelers, Bengals.
Yeah, AFC North matchups are always super fun to watch. You've got the Steelers, you've got the Bengals. The Steelers rocking with Mitch Trubisky. And that, what you just said, is Trubisky is one of the captains. That doesn't fare well for Kenny Pickett down the stretch, because usually they don't take the captain from a player. So if Trubisky is eventually a backup to Kenny Pickett, that would be a bit odd with Trubisky being a captain. But in week 1, I've got the Bengals. They're the home team. I would maybe give the Steelers a shot if they were home. It does play a huge factor in a week 1 game, a week 18 game, any game that matters. And with both fan bases going into the season expecting a lot from both franchises, the Bengals are a better team all across the board. I mean, I really do love the Steelers wide receiver core, but the Bengals alone is better than that. So I've got the Bengals in this game. I think Burrow's going to have another big year. I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl team. The AFC is way too difficult this year, but they may be a conference winner or at least a wild card for the AFC because I like the Baltimore Ravens as well out of the AFC North and the Browns. I mean, when Watson comes back from his massage parlor after week 10 is when is whenever he gets released to come back from the massage parlor. Week 11 he'll play. So yeah, I've got. Wait, what am I saying?
You got it. You're talking about the Bengals and how they were going to run away with things.
Yeah, what was I saying about Deshaun Watson? Oh, AFC North. It all connects. Okay. Yeah, but I've got the Bengals in this game by a landslide. But whenever Deshaun Watson comes back from that parlor, you better look out for the AFC North because he may go undefeated. I think like Ben Roethlisberger last season after his extended time away, his arm was well rested and they made the dang playoffs. So get ready.
There's two games that I could see potential upsets in week one, and that Bengals-Steelers game is one of those two teams or one of those two games that I could see being an upset in Cincinnati. And I got the coin flip there. I don't know. I can't pick one. I do know that at the end of the year, the Bengals are a much better team. The Baltimore Ravens, continuing here with Sunday's slated games, will take on the New York Jets. It's at Jets. Baltimore starts off a 7-point favorite. The spread is set at 44.5 points in this one.
Yeah, Ravens, Jets, Ravens all day. I don't know. I don't think Zach Wilson's playing in this game either. So
nope, it's Joe Flacco the first 4 weeks.
I do like Joe Flacco, but I've got the I've got the Jets in this game. Joe Flacco revenge match versus the Baltimore Ravens. Flacco with the greatest playoff run in history, in the history of the league in 2012. I think he's going to go back and he's going to absolutely pound Baltimore this week. Baltimore will eventually settle in, I believe. I think they're going to be a playoff team. But I think Joe Flacco is going to best Lamar Jackson in week one, and the Jets are going to start off 1-0 and a little bit of hope in New York for the first time.
Also on Sunday, the New Orleans Saints will travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Falcons, a 5.5-point home underdog, over-under set at 42.5 points. Spence, this is that other game I talk about where I could see it going either way, just with the fact it's week one, you're underestimating your opponent, and I think the Saints could do that here week one in Atlanta.
Yeah, I've got the Saints in this game. This is always a great game. This is the best NFC South matchup that you'll see every year. The Buccaneers-Saints isn't ever close. The Bucs always somehow lose in the regular season, but they win when it counts. But looking at this Saints-Falcons game in Atlanta, you say, right?
In Atlanta.
I've still got New Orleans in this game. I think the over-under should be a little bit more swayed in New Orleans' favor. It should be above 5.5. I mean, not over-under, but whoever's going to win. I think that they definitely have the advantage, at least over 5.5 points, than the Atlanta Falcons. So I've got New Orleans, and I think Jameis Winston's going to have a really good season. I think he's going to end the season with around 30-something touchdowns. I think he'll be just under 20 interceptions because that 30 interception season was an absolute anomaly, and we haven't really seen that again. I mean, we didn't see it before. I don't think we'll see that again out of Jameis Winston. Same thing happened with Brett Favre when he threw 30 interceptions. I mean, he never did it again, and he was more of a gunslinger than Jameis. But I've got the Saints in this game by a lot.
The Kansas City Chiefs, Tyreek-less, they'll travel to Arizona, Glendale, Arizona, to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Total points scored over-under set at 54.5 points in this one, and I think that'll happen. I think that they definitely go over that 54.5. I'm not surprised if it's closer to 60 in this game, Spence, in Arizona.
Yeah, I agree. I think both teams are going to put up around 30 points in this game. Chiefs, Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals always come out of the gates flying. Over the years, over the last 10 years, they've started off at least 5-0 a handful of times. So they're a team that starts out hot, finishes bad, never goes all the way. But Cardinals, Chiefs. I think I've got the Cardinals in week one. I think Kyler Murray's new weapon, Marquise Hollywood Brown, is going to be a stud for them. I kind of like their offense. I like James Conner in the red zone. He does not get yards out of the red zone, but whenever he enters that red zone, he's getting into the damn end zone. So I've got the Chiefs losing to the Cardinals in week one, and the over-under, I'm going to go over in this game as well, just because I like both offenses, but I like the Cardinals in the early weeks of the season every time.
I'm with you on that as well. Cardinals also the home team. They added Marquise Brown. They will be without a wide receiver and DeAndre Hopkins the first couple of weeks of the year. Moving on now to New York.
Is it 6 games, Deshaun Watson?
6 games, yep.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, 6 games. The New York Giants will travel to Nashville this Sunday, 4:25 kickoff. Tennessee Titans, a 5.5-point favorite. Over under set at 43.5 points, Spence.
Yeah, I've got the Titans in this game. Tannehill, a bit more of an experienced quarterback. They've got Derrick Henry back to start the year. He will be running to the ground after this season, but I think he's got one more really good year left in him. So I've got the Tennessee Titans in this game. I know people want to see Malik Willis. He's not ready yet. Tannehill, a proven winner, a lot like Jimmy Garoppolo. So I've got the Titans running away with this game in week 1 over the Giants. And I think next season we'll see a new quarterback there in New York over Daniel Jones. He'll be gone.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you just said there. It'll be fun to see Derrick Henry. He's healthy. Let's see what he does on Sunday evening. Also Sunday evening, the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, they'll travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. Ooh, the Kirk Cousins train is still alive there in Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings, an underdog, another home underdog by 2 points. Packers, 2-point favorite. The over-under set at 46.5 points, Spence. What do you got this game between two very, very well-known NFC North teams that have gone at it a couple of times over the last few years and really made it interesting at certain points when they matched up, especially in Green Bay?
Yeah, the AFC North is a lot like the NFC North, and the NFC North has the Vikings and Green Bay Packers facing off week 1. I've got the Vikings in this game. I do think Kirk Cousins is a decent quarterback, and Adam Thielen will be healthy this season. He had some issues last year, and I think the Vikings are gonna win this game. The Packers receiving core this year is in shambles. They've lost a lot of guys. They lost Devontae Adams. They lost MVS. Luckily for them, Robert Tunyon's coming back. Their tight end that started off really good 1 or 2 years ago. I can't remember if it was last year or the year prior, but I've got the Vikings in week 1. I can see why they're the underdog just because the Packers are a proven winner over the Vikings, but the Vikings have a new offensive-minded head coach. They've got the same defensive unit they've been rocking for some time now, and I think the Vikings are going to come to play at home and win this game.
The Las Vegas Raiders added Devontae Adams this offseason, and they'll travel to take on another AFC powerhouse and the Chargers in Los Angeles. 2 AFC teams, one from the West, one from the East. The Raiders, of course, a 3.5-point underdog simply because they are the road team, and the Chargers are arguably a better team. But it should be a good game. Over-under set at 52.5 points in this game. What do you got, Spence? Chargers, Raiders, Chargers, the home team on Sunday evening.
A lot of beautiful matchups in week 1. Chargers, Raiders is going to be a heck of a game. The one thing with the Raiders is they have a great pass rush, but their secondary is absolutely rubbish. They've got Trevon Moehrig back there. He should do something. But their cornerback room is one of the worst in the league ever since they lost Damon Arnett. I forgot what happened to him. He either got arrested or killed. I cannot remember, but it was not for a good reason. So I've got the Raiders losing this game. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, the quiet stud, is going to lead the Chargers in the darkness over the Raiders. And I've got the Chargers by nearly 2 touchdowns in this game. I think Derek Carr to Devontae Adams is going to be super fun. But that offense is going to have to score countless amounts of points to get past what that defense is going to let up, especially against a good opponent like the Chargers.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-possession game for sure. The Chargers win at home. Justin Herbert is going to continue to take that stride up in the right direction. And I like what they'll do there. Austin Eckler, really good running back as well out there in Chargers territory. Also, Sunday Night Football, week 1, the Dallas Cowboys will host our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I say our as in I'm a fan of the Bucs. I work not necessarily for the Bucs, but I work with the Bucs. And Spence, you've got the Bucs sign up with the word Mathis on it, and you've got a Bucs helmet behind you right there on the screen. Bucs a 2.5-point favorite on the road in Arlington. 8:20 kickoff. What do you got? Over under set at 50.5 points.
Yeah, no bias here. I've got the Buccaneers. I think the Cowboys should have kept Amari Cooper. Huge mistake. CeeDee Lamb, good receiver, good number 2, not a number 1 guy. And that's going to show. I think Schultz, their tight end, is going to pick it up this year. I'm not a huge fan of Ezekiel Elliott, but he'll pick up yards for you. But I've got the Buccaneers going in to the Cowboys Stadium and taking out Dallas in week 1 by a touchdown. I think it's going to be a really good game like it was last season in week 1. For some reason, we have the same matchup. But I've got the Buccaneers prevailing against the Cowboys in week 1.
Yeah, last year was a situation in which both quarterbacks totaled 7 passing touchdowns. They threw for over 50 pass attempts each, 108 passes thrown between Dak and Tom Brady. That will not happen this week. I think both teams will try to establish that rushing attack and we'll see the Buccaneers prevail. Give me a 10-point victory for the Bucs on the road. Spence will wrap up week one, our week one predictions right here on TCM Pod, with the Denver Broncos traveling to Seattle to take on a very questionable team, the Seattle Seahawks. They lost Russell Wilson. Bobby Wagner is now gone. They also lost a running back as well to an injury. He's out. I'm forgetting his name right now.
Forever.
He's out. What was that?
He's out forever. He's
out forever with, I believe, a neck injury.
Yep.
Seattle has a lot of question marks coming into this Monday Night Football game, 8:15 kickoff. I've got Denver winning by 14-plus points, and not just because Denver is going to be a pretty good team in a difficult division, but simply because Seattle, they have so many question marks, and how far can DK Metcalf really take this Seattle offense this year? I don't think he could take them more than 5 wins.
Look, Seattle's got a good receiving core, but the rest of that team is absolutely rubbish. I'm not a huge Jamal Adams hater anymore. I think he's a decent sub linebacker if they want to play him there, but if he's back in coverage, he's getting toasted. But the Seattle Seahawks, like the Chicago Bears, the first team we led off with, are one of the worst teams in the league. And going against their former quarterback, against a team that's much better than them in the Denver Broncos, I think Russell Wilson is going to absolutely dice them up in week one. And I think this is going to be the biggest blowout of week one on Monday Night Football. I'm not sure why this is the Monday night matchup. Maybe they thought Seattle would have had a different quarterback whenever they were making the schedule, but they're rocking with Geno Smith, and I think this is going to be an absolute blowout.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see Russell Wilson play in Seattle at CenturyLink Field against his former head coach, Pete Carroll. I think there's going to be some love shown from the fans. Seattle fans definitely owe Russell Wilson a lot. Anyways, that's it for week one predictions right here on TCM Pod. Spence has to run. He has to go call Young Harris College volleyball. That's why we're in a rush. Otherwise, we'd have really jumped right into this. We went 2 or 3 minutes over. As always, thanks for tuning in to the Chris Mathis podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. We'll also give you guys a season total win prediction for each and every team across the league.